Here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Monday afternoon. Another edition of Knicks Weekly presented by Manscaped. The lunchtime edition, matinee edition, man. CP the franchise on the solo dolo. On today's episode, Jalen Brunson changing the narrative. JB on the Roommates podcast had a lot to say about the Knicks losing in the second round to the Indiana Pacers. We're going to hear that soundbite and react to it. Plus, could Isaiah Hartenstein be headed to OKC? We're going to talk some more about Isaiah Hartenstein's looming free agency decision and what that could mean for the Knicks. It's a fan mailbag edition of the show as well, man. So lock in, hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Let's go. Salute to everybody in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Good to be in here, man. Good to be back. Hope everybody had a good weekend and that it was prosperous for you guys. Healthy and prosperous, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. I see my franchise channel members in the building. Flizzy, Flex, Eric L. Beats, Talento, always in here. Darren Wilkerson, what's good? Salute to all my friends from across the pond. I see my guy Lee Bloxham in here. B-Double-K Dance is finally getting to catch this live. Salute to salute. Yeah, man. For some people, you know, you're in the midst of your daily lives, and so catching the show is not always optimal for you to catch it live. But salute to the replay gang, because we have multiple ways for you guys to tap in with us. Anyway, hope you guys had a good weekend. Lots going on, man. I'm going to talk about it. We got a lot going on KnicksFanTV, a lot going on the NBA report as well. So certainly have a lot to dish on, and hope you guys will lock in with us for the whole show. So let's get into it, man. First and foremost, let's talk about IHart. Isaiah Hartenstein. You know, NBA free agency starts on June 30th, and IHart, he's going to be a guy that is going to be in our targets, the Knicks targets, and for some NBA teams. And, you know, before we talk about his looming free agency decision, let's talk about IHart's season, because we've been kind of going through the underdog stories, the unsung heroes of this next season, even though a lot of guys have gotten credit. But let's talk about IHart, man, because he was another guy that was vital to this Knicks team and their postseason run. We got to understand something here, that Isaiah Hartenstein did not enter into the season as the starter, even though we saw from last season that he had the capabilities to start, and he started to bring that change of pace, if you will, to the Knicks offense. Then we saw the rebounding and the defensive numbers improve as well. He didn't start off as a starter. He came off the bench. Mitchell Robinson goes down, and here we go. Isaiah Hartenstein is now your starting center. Then Julius Randle goes down. And before you know it, Isaiah Hartenstein goes from just a supporting cast member to a vital piece, a vital organ to the body. So just a great job by him. Career highs in points per game. He averaged 7.8 points per game this year, 8.3 rebounds. Shot the ball 64% from three with a 64% effective field goal percentage. Pretty much it. I don't think he shot a three or even took many this year. So that's pretty much it in terms of his effective field goal percentage. So, you know, you do the math there, but incredible efficiency for a player of his magnitude. He was in the 86th percentile in effective field goal percentage at 65%. 81 percentile in 2-point percentage, shot the 65%. And overall, I love the way that the Knicks utilize IHart as really a hub in their offense, running offense through him, making plays from the nail, making plays out of the pinch post. How many times did we see IHart finding cutters on the back line? Just an excellent heads-up, smart player. And if it wasn't for him, he's another guy. If it wasn't for him and his play, you could forget about the 2 seed. You could forget about moving past even the Sixers. You can forget all of that. IHart was great for this Knicks team, man. And, from the rebounding, that was one thing. When you lose Julius and you lose Mitch, that's a significant piece to the rebounding puzzle. Significant piece. So for the Knicks to be able to weather that storm and still be a top rebounding team in the league despite losing two of the best in the sport, it's a testament to their depth, and Isaiah Hartenstein deserves a ton of credit for that. A ton of credit. Because it was just an absolute outstanding job by him. The Knicks finished in the regular season number 1 in offensive rebounds. Number 1 in offensive rebounds. Number 1 in offensive rebounding percentage. Yeah, defensive rebounding wasn't all that great, but it was good enough. They finished 22nd in defensive rebounds per game and then 17th in percentage. But the defense was still fine. And then offensively, being able to clean up off of those bricks is vital. Second chance opportunities. Got to get second chance opportunities. So IHart was a big piece of that. And you look at some of these rebounding numbers here. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. CP the franchise here. Look at some of these rebounding numbers. Just absolutely sensational. I'm going to pull it up right now. I'm pulling it up on Basketball Reference. And you can call me up 657-383-1509 or hit me up on the KFTV Discord if you want to chop it up. I mean, look at some of these rebounding highs here. 16 against the Celtics. They did lose that game by 10. Then he had a 4-game stretch, double-digit rebounds, 12 and 10 against the Clippers. This is all on the West Coast. 17 boards against the Lakers and AD. 10 against the Nets. 13 against the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, he lost that game by 19 points. But anyway, 20 against the Bulls. 19, 14, 15, 20. Look at this stretch right here. That's damn near 15 rebounds a game. Wizards, Portland, at Dallas, at Memphis. He had 19, 14, 15, 20, then 12 against Orlando. Another 11 against the Rockets, another 17 against the Wizards. Insane. That was the month of January when everybody was going crazy. And then, 19 against the Pacers, another 15 against the Lakers. A monster on the boards was Isaiah Hartenstein. How about game 5 when the Knicks watched the Pacers by 30? IHart, 17 boards, 12 on the offensive side. The guy was just insane. Finished near the top of the league in defensive rating. Defensive box plus minus. I mean, the advanced analytics from a defensive standpoint was a big part of his improvement. My 2 cents. IHart was huge in some of those. Where would they be without him? How many teams can say they got 2 centers that can truly impact the game as starters? Not just in bench minutes, as two legit starting centers on the team. And he gave a lot of credit to Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau on his improvements. So, hey, you talk about player development. It's not just with, rookies. It's a guy in Hartenstein. Yeah, he's 26, but he had bounced around for the league. He was in Denver. He was with the Rockets. He was with the Clippers. Couldn't really establish himself. Couldn't really find a home. And he's found it here in the last 2 years with the New York Knicks. Now, the question is, will he remain a New York Knick? That is the question, folks. And a couple interesting things to consider when you look into IHart's contract. And we're going to have Bobby Marks. Bobby Marks will be on with us tomorrow at 12 o'clock. We're going to go through an entire Knicks offseason guide, take a look at the cap. We're going to break all that down. A lot of you guys wanted to dig into the numbers and see where we stand there. So Bobby Marks, who else but ESPN's capologist and resident GM Bobby Marks is going to be joining us, man. We get you the best of the best, man. We're not playing around with this. So looking at IHart's salary, he made 8.8 last year, and then I had a little arrow on my camera. Then he made 9.2 this year. Now, the issue with the Knicks right now is regarding his early bird rights. When it comes to a contract, the max the Knicks can offer IHart is 4 years, $72.5 million. This is from Jake Fisher, Yahoo Sports. But a lot of our guys that have come on the show said the same thing. 4 years, $72 million. So they can only give him about 18. So the question becomes, is there a team out there that wants to give him the bag? 20 plus. Remember when Fred Katz of The Athletic, shout out to our guy Fred, friend of the program, when we talked about not just the teams with salary cap, and I'm going to show you those teams, but not just the teams with salary cap to offer multi-year deals, but how about a team who needs to meet the salary floor expectations that the league has, the guidelines, not guidelines, the rules, that may not be spreading the wealth around in free agency. Maybe people don't want to come, and they offer more than 20, maybe on a 1 year, 1+1 balloon deal. Now, he's saying all the right things. I want to stay. I love this team. I love the chemistry. I love Mitch. These are my guys. But will the money ultimately talk? Because he can potentially get money elsewhere. He can potentially get money elsewhere. So if we take a look at some of the teams that have cap space here going into this offseason, you got the Pistons at 64, Sixers at 61, Magic at 49, Utah Jazz 38, Thunder 35, Spurs 21. And this is from Keith Smith. He says, Hornets are a swing team. If Miles Bridges leaves, I project them to have 30 in space. So let's look at some of these teams and kind of think about this here. I mean, Detroit. Would IHart go to Detroit? They just got Trajan Langdon as their new president of basketball operations. Goodbye, Troy Weaver. How does Trajan Langdon try to be the counter weaver and try to actually put this Detroit Piston team in position to be a serious team and not the laughingstock of the league? Is IHart the splash that Detroit looks to make? And is that a team that he'd be willing to go to just because he got the bag? I mean, that's purgatory, man. We're trying to get Quentin Grimes out of here. That is literally the NBA's equivalent of The Wall for my Game of Thrones people. Game of Thrones coming up soon. I'm going to be locked in on that. Been catching up on TV in the offseason. I'm going to tell you some of the shows I've been getting into. We can talk about it. So Pistons, look, they have the money. Feasible, I mean, but plausible. Is it a possibility for IHart? I mean, you're going literally from the penthouse to the outhouse. A little bit richer. So I don't see it with the Pistons. I don't really see them as a huge threat. Sixers, all the talk of the Sixers has been going after a wing. OG's been lightly rumored there. You have Paul George. I think for the Sixers, just speaking on a basketball standpoint, no homerism, I think the Sixers do need a wing. They need a third guy that can help, especially when Embiid gets hurt because you can pencil him for injury. And they need a third guy overall to get them over the hump. Embiid and Maxey is cool. That's a nice dynamic duo. But I think they need a little bit more because I think Embiid is going to be on the decline and you're not going to be able to trust him in anyway. Who's to everybody in the chat? Hit that thumbs up on the free boys. Utah Jazz. They've got Kessler. That's pretty much it. I mean, they did get some front court depth in the draft last year. They have Kessler there, their big man who they're high on. They traded Kelly Olynyk to the Raptors. That was my guy. Is that the move that Danny Ainge? I don't see that. I don't see Ainge making that type of move. Not for a Utah Jazz team that's going nowhere fast. You let their fans tell it. they're on their way to contending for something. But for me, they're not going anywhere. But this is a team right here that I'm circling. OKC. The OKC Thunder is the team that I have on my radar. And according to Jake Fisher, Yahoo Sports, that is the team to also look out for. They need some frontline help. I saw in the playoffs where they were pretty mangled on the boards against Dallas. Couldn't really get that done. Somebody who can play next to Chet. And even though, if you want to argue their offensive style, Jake Fisher talks about, OKC's a drive and kick offense with Chet at the center. A good coach can augment things and fit a Hartenstein. Hartenstein can fit in anywhere, in my opinion. Especially with his ability to create offense and keep an offense moving and make smart plays. I think OKC could be a threat. How much will they give him? Who knows? That's what everybody's questioning. Is Presti, would Presti be the type to spend big on a big man who's more of not a star piece, but a good piece? I think IHart could legitimately help them turn it up a notch. So I think that's the biggest threat. I think OKC is the biggest threat there for iHeart. What do you guys think, man? Call me up, 657-383-1509, or you can hit me up on the KFTV Discord. Salute to everybody in the chat on this Monday afternoon. Isaiah Jackson says OKC's too small. I think that's what he's saying in the chat. I think it's OKC. You have an opportunity to compete and get the bag and get a bigger bag. Now, if we're saying that the Knicks can go up to 18, and let's say OKC's around like 20, 21, does he consider disrupting the chemistry that he had here for an extra 3? I don't know. Not sure what Hartenstein's end game is there. What do you guys think in the chat? So I think OKC would be a legitimate threat there. And if we look at the rest of these teams, salute to everybody in the chat. If we look at the rest of these teams, the Spurs, Magic, I don't really see it. They've got Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner's going to be a free agent. According to Jake Fisher, there's mutual interest for his return. His brother's there. And they also have Wendell Carter. Magic need help on the perimeter. They need offense. Yes, they could use some more defense. I mean, some more boards, some more people on the boards for sure. But they do have some bigs. I think they need a solid perimeter shooting threat that they just don't have yet. I think that's what's going to stop them from turning this corner. Yeah, they need scoring. So legitimately, I see it as a Thunder. Spurs, they're another team that I think needs more perimeter threat than to invest in an IHart, $20 million in an IHart. I don't see it with the Spurs. They just signed Zach Collins as well. They got to figure out the point guard situation and then go from there. Chico Fernandez in the chat. Shout out Chico, son from Brooklyn. I see you, man. How's son? Salute. Who else we got? Why me in here? What up, man? Salute. Why me and Chico Fernandez were at the last watch party. Salute to Bees Noriega, man. Met Bees Noriega this summer as well. So that is that's my group. That's my pairing right here. So to everybody in the chat, man, CP the franchise here on the Solo Dolo Knicks Weekly presented by Manscaped. Shout out to our friends at Manscaped, fellas. You know what it is, man. Father's Day is coming up soon, and Manscaped has the perfect tools for dad on his day, man. No pun intended. From the Lawnmower 4.5.0 to the Beard Hedger Kit to the handyman, to the weed whacker. Manscaped has everything for dad, for you, for everybody, man. Make sure you go to manscaped.com. Use our code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping, and you can get a number of products from Manscaped. They ship to a number of locations, not just the U.S., but Canada, Mexico, Europe. You have South Africa, Singapore, a number of places, man. So make sure that you guys support our sponsor at Manscaped. Use our code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And most importantly, you see it right there, down at the bottom right. No testimonials. No testimonials, fellas. None whatsoever. Okay, who else we got? Drew Rodriguez following us on Facebook says, new, love the channel, keep doing your thing. Salute, man. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new, and we will shout you guys out, whether you guys are on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube. We'll shout you guys out there. What else on the odds and ends before we go to the next topic? Rangers lost over the weekend. Rangers lost for my hockey fans. Rangers lost to the Panthers in Game 6. I thought they were pretty much overmatched in that series. You know, I'm a casual hockey fan. Like, once the basketball season's over, I'll jump in with the Rangers because I rock with the Rangers heavy. But just from a bird's eye view, casual fan, the Florida Panthers seem like the better team, and Rangers need more offense, as they usually do every time they flame out in the playoffs. So there was the Rangers. Who else? Deontay Wilder got his ass knocked out again. I think he needs to sit his ass down and hang it up. I think it's over with. Yeah, Deontay Wilder getting knocked out by Zhilei Zhang in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia's been going in, man. They're doing everything. They're doing boxing, WWE, UFC, soccer, everything. They're getting into sports. They're into sports heavy out there. But, yeah, Zhilei Zhang put Deontay Wilder on the mat. So I think it's time for him to reconsider his career goals here. You know, for the sake of your family and friends, it's over with. The what do you call themselves? The Brown Bomber? No, that was Joe Louis. Bronze Bomber? Yeah, he's out of there. Good night, DeJounte Murray. Lou Boogie in the chat. He says, new to Manscaped, no testimonials, though. Shout out Lou Boogie. Yeah, it's time. It's time. You know, once you knock the armor off, it's over with. So, good night to DeJounte Wilder. Thanks for a good career. Let's go to 201. 201, what's your name? Where you calling in from?
What's going on, CP? I'm calling from New Jersey. How are you?
Good, man. How you feeling today, man? What's going on, man?
I'm good. Thanks for all the Knicks stuff you do. You're awesome. You're unbelievable.
Appreciate it.
Two-part thing. One, I think with Hartenstein, just like you said, I think if the Knicks are going to lowball him, then I think, hey, obviously I think he's going to move. But I don't think the Knicks are going to do it. I think the Knicks value him. And then you know what? If, like you're saying, if it's $16 million and $18 million a year, and somebody does offer 24, I mean, and that's in his hands. I mean. Yeah. We're basically giving them a max that we can do. I mean, there's nothing more we can do. But that's first part. I want to hear your thing. And the second thing is, real quick before I go, you know, just watching these NBA playoffs, watching the NBA conference finals, you know, what we're missing is that guy. And I know you're a good friend, and the man Alan Hahn said it on his show. What we're missing is another guy that, hey, when come playoff time, and we bring it up. Brunson brings this ball up. He just hands it to that guy and says, hey, we're not running a play. Go get a basket, man.
Go.
And you know, I don't know who it is, but I think and it's nice when we have our system with Hart and DiVincenzo, and it's great, but it's going to come down. Hey, look, it's Luka or Kyrie, right? It's Brown or Tatum. That's what it's going to be in these finals. The other guys, the role players will do their job, but, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. So I don't know how we get them, but I really think we got to try to do that this offseason.
Yeah.
I do, because we're in a championship window. If we get that guy, I legitimately think we can win an NBA championship. And I don't think, not to diss him, but I don't think that's Randall. So okay. I want to get your thoughts on it. But one guy, I think we can win a championship.
I agree with you there, man. Thanks for the call. Call back anytime, and appreciate the call. On the iHeart thing, yes, the max that the Knicks can offer him is 4 at 72, but it's at where they value him. Things are going to get tricky now. They had a nice season, Cinderella season, all of that. Brunson's got to get paid. OG's got to get paid. What's the decision on Julius, right, on his extension? Ian Begley, shout out to our guy Ian Begley. His prediction is that the two sides won't come to an agreement this year, which I didn't think either. Right? So, where do they value him at? All I'll say is that at this stage in the game, Blockness is my guy. You know that, but we don't know. We can't rely on Mitch. And I feel terrible that the injuries have really been impacting his career mightily. He missed 50 games this year, more time in the playoffs. This might be something where it's like, man, like this might have to be the changing of the guard where the investment has to be in an Isaiah Hartenstein. Because you just can't rely on Mitch to stay healthy. And once he goes down, what are you left with? They're lucky to have gotten Hartenstein when they did last year. I mean, talk about a reclamation project. That's how I looked at it. He was a journeyman role player for the Clippers. Tom Thibodeau turned him into a legitimate starting center. And now you need him. So it's going to be an interesting chess match, man, because at the same time, any contract he goes out and gets in this free agency, he's earned it. Because he's been that good. He's earned it, every single penny. Now, on your second point, yeah, hit the nail on the head. Who's the guy? Is Julius going to prove to be the guy? I want to run it back and see. Because I don't see, you guys have heard me on a few podcasts now. There's only a few people right now that I would trade Julius for that I think would be a legit upgrade for this team. So I don't necessarily see those trades coming through. You just never know who that star player is that raises their hand in the summer or beyond. But until then, I see this team running it back with Julius, and it's going to be on him. Brunson has showed you already 2 postseasons in a row. He's ready. He's showing up. So the question is Julius going to be a reliable star for them in the playoffs? Healthy and ready to roll, ready to produce. 25-10 is all good in the regular season. It's fantastic. It's all-star. It's all NBA worthy. Great job. He was fantastic in the regular season when healthy. Postseason is when it's going to matter. Because you can have all the role players, you can have all the fit, you can have all the kumbaya in the locker room. If you don't have another superstar or star-level talent to help you get there, you're not going to win. Depth is only going to get you so far. Dallas Mavericks are riding in there with a two-headed monster right now. 60 games combined. 60 points combined in games. Just cooking, especially when it gets late in games. Those are guys you need. You're in the middle of the postseason. This is it. This is it. This is why it's the superstars that are usually holding the trophies in the end. Because despite the physical ailments, despite being tired, those are the guys that raise their game on the biggest stage. That's what you're watching with Luka Doncic right now. That's what you're watching with Kyrie, in case you forgot. Those are the guys that usually hold the trophies. It was Jokic last year. All right, everything was cool to Miami Heat. They got chemistry, supposed to be the greatest, but they came up against a superstar and they were outmatched. They weren't even in the same league as the Denver Nuggets. And by the way, they had Jamal Murray stepping up, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter, like all those guys are great. So there's levels to this thing, man. There's levels. And having one more superstar player can get you there. But it's hard. It's hard to find a prime-time playoff bona fide performer. Look at how many of these guys come up small in the postseason. Look at Karl Anthony Towns. This is why I call Karl Anthony Towns a small-time player. These guys come up small, man. Ant-Man, he's learning. All that talk is cheap. He's learning. He's 22 years old. He's got to learn. So we need that. We need that. And speaking of the NBA Finals, man, Kmart, Kenyon Martin, NBA Finals post-game live, CP the Franchise, Kenyon Martin, starting on Thursday. So make sure you guys tap in and support us over there. After every game of the NBA Finals, me and Kmart will be going live, man. Highlights, analysis, and your reactions, caller reactions, man. So make sure you tap into that. We give you an opportunity to speak to an NBA All-Star to really break down the game and break down each game. And you're not getting that anywhere else. So make sure you guys head over to the NBA Report and support us over there. Also on the NBA Report, we got a jam-packed week, man. Derek Harper is coming through. My favorite person, one of my favorite Knicks, Derek Harper's coming through to preview the series on Wednesday. And then tomorrow, Howard Beck of The Ringer is going to come through. We are going to preview the finals and then also talk about Howard's latest piece on The Ringer. The unexpected revival, the unlikely revival of the New York Knicks. We're going to get into that. It's going to be a great segment. And then Bobby Marks on KFTV tomorrow at 12 o'clock at 12:30. I think I got to double check. So we got an action-packed week ahead. But that is the blockbuster announcement, man. Kenyon Martin has joined the NBA Report. And we will be live after every game of the NBA Finals, breaking it all down, man. So make sure you guys jump over there. Basketball don't stop, man. We're going to get into draft coverage as well. And so, yeah, very excited about that. And so the caller also mentioned Jalen Brunson. He did mention our guy, JB. And Jalen Brunson was back on the Roommates show. Shout out to the Roommates podcast. And had some interesting things to say about the Knicks and losing to the Pacers and the narrative about the Knicks being injured. He was also sporting a new cast. He got surgery on his hand, so sporting a new cast. Here was Jalen Brunson on his thoughts on the narrative. Here we go.
The one thing I hated the most, even though like we were playing well, we were winning, we were up 2-0, then up 3-2. Whenever we lost, like everyone was like, "Oh, they're tired or their injuries or anything." Like honestly, that kind of like pissed me off because I mean, yeah, we don't have a full team, but like we don't want to use that. Like I don't want the narrative of being like, "Oh, they're hurt, so like let's give them a pass." Like no, like we had chances to win that series and didn't. Like, we had chances to go up 3-0 and we didn't. Like I just hate the fact that sometimes people give us the fact that we were injured or like injuries happen. Yeah, they're part of the game, but like that's not the reason why we lost. We had a chance to win. Like we were winning with those injuries. Like I don't know. It kind of. I just hate the narrative. I hate the narrative. I know that you don't really give a shit, but I was because like.
All right, so what do we think about that? Shout out to JB. Shout out to Captain Clutch. What do you guys think about that? Were too many of us leaning on the injury factor as an excuse as to why the Knicks didn't win the series? I'm kind of conflicted. Son from Brooklyn says that's why Brunson is him. You love it from your player to say that. Love it. He says all the right things. He holds himself accountable. He never wants to make excuses. And he always tries to be better than he was the last game or the last time or the last season. So you love that. But I felt like reality told a different picture. Didn't it? I mean, just as easy as the Knicks could have been up 3-0, they could have been down 3-0 as well in the first three games. And for me, once OG gets hurt in game 2, I left there saying, you know what? All right, good win. Thankful, but very concerned now. Now I'm concerned. Because I don't think this is sustainable. Now, that's just me as a civilian watching. JB had a different opinion. I thought they could have lost game 1 and game 2. They go into game 3. They got a 9-point lead in the fourth quarter. Nebhart, Hail Mary. Sinks them. Game 4, they get ran out the building. They get ran out the building. So are we going to say that a healthy OG would have prevented that? I thought so. I thought that would have been a big help. I think a healthy Mitchell Robinson would have been a big help. A healthy Julius Randle would have been a big help. Now, game 5, come back to the Garden. They watched the Pacers by 30. Well, what happens in game 6? Within the first minute of the game, you lose Josh Hart. Did anybody think the Knicks were still going to win that game after you lost Josh Hart in game 6? With a muscle injury? And the result was the result. Game 7, they get ran out the gym. Where OG looked terrible, Hart didn't look like himself, and neither did Brunson, in my opinion. And that was before he broke the hand. So, I mean, you don't necessarily want to use it as a total excuse, but I thought it was a major factor. I thought it was a major factor. Once OG went down, I'm like, where else are we going to go here? Because if Brunson's not going to have a good game, the sink is shipped. The sink is shipped. The ship is sunk. The ship is sunk. So, at least where the Pacers were concerned, they were able to get contributions from Siakam. Halliburton had his moments. They had some shot creation going on, man. The guys made big plays. So I don't know. Look, I rarely disagree with our guy, Captain Clutch. I understand his perspective as a player with pride. But from the civilian standpoint, from the fan seats, as my guy, the Rhyme Animal Chuck D says, I thought in the end, they just got grinded to a pulp. Because there's no way, if you want to tell me that you're going to let these guys shoot the daylights out of you in the gym in Game 7, and it's not a result of just being literally, physically, and mentally exhausted, then we got to talk about what the approach was in Game 7. So that's my thoughts, man. But shout out to Captain Clutch. Rest up, rebound, and come back better than ever, man. 646, what's your name? Where you call it in from? 646. This guy, I don't know if he's on his lunch break or what. Is he in the car? 646, are you there? All right, we will drop this guy off, let him collect his thoughts, and come back stronger. Dave G on the Discord. Dave, let's go.
What's going on, CP? Happy off season, my friend.
Happy off season, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm finally over it. Game 3 was haunting me for a little while, but I'm over it.
Yep.
And that MHart 3 was crazy, but look, man. Like everybody's been talking about the same stuff. Everybody thinks we should just run it back. We don't need to be putting Julius Randle on all these crazy trades and whatnot.
Yeah. I
think people got to trust the front office. They're going to be smart. I think OG is going to get his money, but it's going to be an incentive-based salary structure. Like it's going to be about games played, all NBA defense, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think the front office, man, they got to make a move with Bojan and all these picks we have. I think that's where it's at. Is you got to bring everybody back, and you've been stockpiling these picks for a long time, man. If you can go get Mikal Bridges for Bojan and whatever pick package, or Herb Jones and Trey Murphy III for a bunch of picks, or inquire about the availability of Anthony Simons or somebody. Because look, man, if you're going to give Tibbs an extension, you need to give Tibbs players.
Yes.
Stop with the Paul George stuff.
I'm not buying any of the Paul George. Not buying it.
He's a 30-minute a game player who's going to play 50 games a year and might be available for the playoffs. That's not a Tibbs player.
No.
You can't be giving up a bunch of assets for that.
No.
If you're going to commit to Tibbs long term, you got to get Tibbs types players. And I think you got a roster full of them right now.
Yeah.
And you just need to add one more. Everybody knows Mikal Bridges, he'd be the perfect fit. We all know that. That'd be awesome if you could just add him to the roster, but this is the NBA, and the Brooklyn Nets are our rivals, so it's not going to be easy. So, but I'm excited about the offseason. I think the front office got a lot of thinking to do with a lot of money to hand out, but luckily James Dolan has a big pocket. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited to watch the NBA Finals. Congrats to you, brother. Look forward to listening to the post games, man. Peace and love, brother. Like the video.
Appreciate it.
Subscribe, baby. Hit the subscribe.
Yes, sir. Salute my guy Dave G on the Discord. Always rocking with us. Always supporting all year long. Appreciate it, man. And he said he's coming over to the NBA report, man. So make sure you guys tap in because Thursday post game is gonna be where it's at, man. Great call. Great call by Dave. I'm very interested to see how they utilize this Bogdanovich contract here. Because in the event that big name, whatever, is not going to be there, which, you never know, 50-50, do they make another OG type trade? A guy who has the impact like an OG, not necessarily just a defensive stopper, but someone who can impact the team by being that next piece that can really fit in and move this thing in a major way. Is DeJounte Murray that guy? Knicks need a backup point guard. They need a playmaker. An innings eater. Some of you guys are complaining about minutes. Well, get some people who can be efficient and effective in their minutes when they come off the bench. Need somebody like that. Is it DeJounte? What do you guys think in the chat, man? Let's see. I did ask the fans to submit questions, and when we do these lives, man, definitely throw some questions. I'll put a poll out on Twitter for your questions, and yeah, just throw them out there, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Could be Knicks, could be basketball, could be anything, man. Let's have some fun with it. Let me pull it up here. Pause. And see. Oh, here's a good one. This question here is from Dat Boy Franco. Says, here's a question. Why did Monica McNutt destroy Stephen A. Smith on live TV like that? LOL, that was awesome. We gotta go back to this, man. Did you guys see this on First Take? Whoa. Did you see this on First Take? Monica McNutt Ether Stephen A. Smith. Now, there's been a lot going on with in terms of the WNBA. A lot of, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reis and, the Great White Hope, all this. Just a lot of contention. Caitlin Clark getting rocked the other day with a flagrant foul. Matt Barnes is jumping into this. I mean, this thing is turning into a Royal Rumble around the WNBA. So, I guess on First Take, and I'm rocking my Worst Take t-shirt, to celebrate Monica McNutt eviscerating Stephen A. Smith. So this broke out on First Take in terms of, I guess, the coverage and the attention that the WNBA is getting. Here's Monica McNutt. Let's listen and react.
The rookie. That's all I'm at.
All right.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talks about women's sports more than First Take? Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
All right, we gotta go. You guys.
So, did you know you're my guy, but who does more than Stephen A., I'm talking to you. Wow. Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have. Okay.
Whoa.
I'm talking to you. Okay.
All right, let's
You my guy, but I'm talking to you.
Guys, I really appreciate
my girl, but you missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot. Stephen A., 3 years ago, you were not talking about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
You making Stephen A.
And look at Unk. Unk just trying to get in the conversation just to talk. Unk hasn't watched a single NBA game, single WNBA game. All Unk is concerned with is who's the next celebrity I got to bring on Club Shay Shay to air out the tea. Yeah, he just wants to be on his Oprah vibe right now. So Unk is just window dressing until football season comes around. All right? But my guy SAS over here, look at Monica's face right now. And look at Molly in this still shot. This is great. Oh my goodness. Gathered him up. Look at him. That's what you talking about Willis face right there. Good Lord. I like that type of energy. Great job by Monica McNutt, man. She collected souls on that set today. This thing is going, the virality right now, this is going crazy. Absolutely cooked them. Look at Stephen A's face. Look at Molly's face. Now look at Unc. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Stephen A had nothing to say. Molly probably looking like, oh my God, did she just say that? I hope she doesn't end up like Kellerman. But nah, Monica, look at Monica's face like, yep, I did say that. Oh man, this was good TV. Keep it real. Stephen A. You ain't talking about no WNBA. Like, you missed a lot of shows. But it's good for the league. It's good for the league. You know, the league wants its respect. These women want their respect. Want more eyeballs in the league. It's good. More eyeballs in the league gets more dollars in pockets. I'm all for it. Everybody needs to get paid. Everybody needs to get paid, man. Show the W some love. I like the rivalries that's kind of brewing now with the Caitlin Clark situation. And they're bringing more polarizing figures into the league. More polarizing figures. The talk is going to escalate. The discourse is going to escalate. Yeah, I'm here for it, man. And Unc is just about the tea. Unc is looking for his next Cat Williams moment. You know? He's looking for that next Cat Williams bag. That Cat Williams interview got Unc some dollars. He's trying to get on that new media wave. He's on that YouTube. So yeah, that was funny. That was absolutely hilarious. Salute, man. All right, next question. My guy Pablo G says, what's good, CP? Do you see Leon convincing Dolan to get into the second apron and pay taxes needed to get another star or to keep our players? Yeah, I think he would if there's a player worth getting. Absolutely. I don't think Jimmy D is going to mind that. Jimmy D, he's never been a guy to penny pinch. That's for sure. And the way that Leon Rose has his trust, if Leon feels like they can get the next guy, I think Dolan will pay it. All right? That might just come out of our pocket when the playoff tickets go up a little bit more. Those MSG Sphere tickets might cost you a little bit more. So, you know, might cost you a little, might cost you a lot, but it will cost you. So yeah, I don't think we have that to worry about. He says, also, are you coming down to London and Paris to watch the U.S. in the Olympics this summer? That is the early plan. I'll let you know. A lot of moving parts there, a lot of moving pieces there, but I am trying to get there in some capacity. Salute to Rhyme Animal Chuck D, $5 Super Chat says, that was a Jordan versus Utah shot versus SAS by Monica. She countercrossed Wilder on SAS. Man down. Out of there. I like that, man. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. I haven't watched enough WNBA coverage, so I don't speak on it that much. I speak on things that I watch and that I can make an informed opinion about. That's what I like to do. But I am going to be tapping in. I'm definitely going to be tapping in, especially during playoff time. But right now, we got Knicks stuff to talk about. We got the NBA report, Kmart, CP the Franchise, post-game live of the NBA Finals. We got Knicks draft, Knicks free agency, trades, summer league. Got a lot going on, man. I can only give my TV time up, but for so many things. I've been catching up on TV too, man. That's usually what I do in the summertime. So, House of Dragons coming back. Looking forward to that. Last year, the lady and I, we did Succession. Went through Succession. Great show. This year, I've been on a couple things. X-Men 97. Just wrapped that up last night. Episode 10 was crazy. Apocalypse. Oh my God, X-Men 97 is crazy. I mean, they just did a fantastic job with that. I was on Netflix watching Bodkin. I was watching Bodkin. We wrapped up Bodkin over the weekend. People have been telling me about the Fallout series. I got to watch that. I got to get back into Samurai. I definitely got to get back into Samurai. Somebody was making a funny comment about Samurai when I was putting the feelers out there in terms of what to watch. And they made a good point. Like, Samurai was good. Like, the first episode was great. But what's up with so many damn subtitles, man? I mean, I get the historical context and the cultural context, but that's not something that I can watch like at the end of a long day. I'm not trying to read that much. So I had to take a little break. But I'm going to get to it, man. That's not a show that you could just like, just put on and while you're halfway dozing off. I'm getting old, man. That's a daytime show for me. So I got to get back into Shogun. I said Samurai, Shogun. Yeah. What else? I watched The Covenant yesterday on Prime, Amazon Prime Video. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good, man. I thought The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal was pretty good. So I've been getting in on that. I'm getting in on the Fallout stuff and see what's going on. Yeah, I meant to say Shogun. That's what I meant to say. All right, let's see some of these other ones here. Okay. Question is, NYK Jessel says, what should we address with the 12.9 MLE? Do we use it all? Do we hold on to it for a bit? See if we need to fill a spot post-trade? Do we just make an early swing? Well, if you lose Shogun, I'm reading the chat at the same time. If you lose IHart to free agency, do you use the mid-level on a backup center? Or somebody who has potential starting center capability. I mean, let's take a look at this list. That's another thing. Like the center position, there's not that many options right now. Nick Claxton, he's not a guy that you can get. I don't think you can get him for the mid-level. You have IHart, Valanciunas. It gets you some boards, but not as versatile as you would like. Mo Wagner. We talked about Orlando. How about Andre Drummond? You guys want Drummond? You might be able to get him for the room exception. If they have it. That's a little bit less. All right. Jalen Smith, no. Dario Saric, no. Precious. Bring back Precious on his deal. And we're going to talk to Bobby Marks tomorrow. Knicks offseason outlook. How about Bitadze? Some of you guys like the Goga Bitadze. Nick Richards from the Hornets. I like that. I would like to know how the Hornets feel about him. He could be another guy who could be a potential, a guy who hasn't met his potential just yet that you may be able to get with the assets that you have. Do you go to get Nick Richards? I like that. Reis Anderson. And Reis Anderson has the Jamaican flag in there. Nick Richards is from Jamaica. So big up to him. Is that a possibility? Nick Richards, I like that one. 657-383-1509. Oh, we got a lot of callers in here. Let's get to it, man. 646. What's your name? Where you calling in from? Hello. 646.
Hello? Oh, hey, hello?
Yes. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
Yeah, this is Reis. I just actually super chatted.
Oh, what's good, bro? How you feeling?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, like I was saying, I think Nick Richards would be like a perfect option because he only makes $5 million a year over the next 2 years.
Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the contract here. Somebody had mentioned him to me just recently, and he's had some pretty good games, man. I thought he came on strong in his second season here.
He's 7 foot. He got long arms. He can block. He can rebound. He's healthier, way healthier than Mitch. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a perfect fit.
Yeah, man.
If you lose IHart.
I think that's I don't think that's a bad idea whatsoever, man. Good thinking by you. Out of the box. That's an out of the box one. Kentucky product. Does he have much connection to the CAA family? Is he part of the mafia? Is he a lower tier member of the mafia? We got.
And when you think about it, we probably wouldn't even have to give that much to get him. Probably just throw in some picks.
Yeah.
You know, maybe if you want to trade Mitch because he's injury prone, maybe we could do that. You know what I'm saying? So I think, yeah.
Okay. Not a bad thought, man. What do you guys? Yeah, go ahead.
Another question. Do you think it's a probability that we'll get a marketing? Do you think that we can get him?
I don't really like marketing, man. What are you gonna do with him?
Nah.
What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna put
I
marketing?
mean, he'll be like a Miles Turner. You know, he can shoot the three, he can rebound.
Well, where are you gonna put him? You gonna bring him off the bench?
No, he'll start.
Where?
Mitch will come off the bench and he'll start as a five, as a stretch five.
Are you talking about Lowry marketing?
Yeah, Lowry marketing. Or he'll be a four. Trade Randall and bring him in. He'll be the four.
I got to go eat lunch, man. Call back anytime. All
right. All right. Much love.
Much love, man. Go on. I mean, Reis. Come on, Reis. You had us thinking out the box. I'm over here. I'm cooking up Nick Richards' contract. I'm trying to make it happen for us. A backup plan. And then his next offseason move is getting Lowry marketing to play the five and trading Randall. Call back anytime, man. But I mean, my man went from great idea to tomatoes in one call. That is special. I mean, Julito Alexis on the Discord, on the Facebook, marketing is not better than Randall. And I look at him as another guy. I mean, look, maybe on a better team, he would perform better, but I look at him as a small-time player. He's like a Karl Anthony Towns. Man, that man went from a 5-star call to a 1 in one call. Oh, man. Shout out to Reis, man. Shout out to you. All right, who else we got on the phones? 516. What's your name? Where you calling in from?
What's up, guys? I'm Nasir from the Mass.
Yes, sir. Massapequa. What's good?
All right, What's good, guys? I just want to say I'm really happy of our Knicks team right now. I mean, struggling through the lineups that we see on Twitter and seeing what we have right now, we got straight dogs. And I'm not kidding about that. We got dogs on this team. So all this chatter about trading Randall, everyone has to realize Randall came here. He embraced the New York City, whatever it comes with, and he's a dog. At the end of the day, in the Philly series, in the Pacers series, but more so in the Philly series, who do we say we wanted? We wanted Randall on our side if he was healthy, because we knew he wouldn't be pushed around. So Don't trade Randall. I think this season we run it back. We don't give him an extension right now because he has to prove himself after his surgery. Okay. And we just make small moves, man. Like, I think we wait for Mikal Bridges. We wait if a Booker comes. Otherwise, I don't get why people are so antsy to make a move. Listen, we've been suffering since the 70s. A few more years, we see a path going. We have assets. It's a great time. Enjoy the moment. Get lit. And then in a few years, I think we'll be getting a chip.
Okay. Appreciate the call, man. I'm not sure where fans are seeing this Mikal Bridges acquisition. How do you guys see that coming together? How do you guys see this Mikal Bridges acquisition coming together, man? I just don't see it, guys. I could be wrong, I could be wrong. I just don't see that happening. I don't see the Nets ever doing the Knicks that favor to help them. The Nets have no idea what direction they are going in. They have no idea what they're doing. And so I just don't get it, man. This was another interesting tidbit. Speaking of trades and why some of you ask, why is Kristaps on the cover? Well, on the cover of Knicks Weekly. Well, given given the Celtics in the finals and some of the storylines, Jake Fisher, Yahoo Sports, wrote about the redemption stories that are both Kyrie Irving and Kristaps Porzingis going into how they got here. And one of the interesting tidbits is that, according to Jake Fisher, when the Knicks were shopping Porzingis around, it was kind of secret. They had actually had, according to him, tangible dialogue about swapping Irving for KP. This was before the Mavs swooped in and sent the Knicks a darling deal of Dennis Smith Jr., Wesley Matthews, DeAndre Jordan, and 2 picks. 2 picks. The last of the picks will be the 25th pick in the draft, which is Dallas's pick, or the 24th. One of those is Dallas's pick that the Knicks now own. So the KP deal will finally come to a close in terms of the transactions and who the players turn out to be. Maybe by this draft. We'll see if the Knicks either hold on to it or punt further or move up to go get something else. What do you guys think about that? So remember, just to put that into context, when the Knicks traded Porzingis back in 2019, it was in anticipation that they were going to have the 2 max contracts to try to go get KD and Kyrie. Porzingis' camp was out of here. They had enough of the theatrics. Porzingis' brother was like, yo, this place is a dump. Let's go. They make the deal with Dallas. According to Jake Fisher, they had talks with the Celtics for KP for Kyrie. Is it plausible? Yeah, I think it's definitely plausible, just reacting to it. Number one, GMs talk trades all the time. They talk trades all the time. I mean, remember draft day 2017 when the Knicks got Frank. Supposedly, Phil Jackson was trying to get KP to the Celtics. He was trying to get KP to the Suns to get Booker back here. I think he was trying to get marketing. So I think trades are being discussed all the time. Now, from a Celtic standpoint, I could see it because if you're like everyone else and thinking that KD and Kyrie are ultimately going to end up with the Knicks, then in free agency, then we might as well get an asset in return and give us Porzingis. Plausible. I think it's plausible. So that was just an interesting tidbit. Take it for what it's worth. The more you know. Segment presented by Manscaped. There it is. And now both those guys are in the finals. Knicks is still trying to figure it out. 404, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yo, this is Brandon. I'm calling in from Atlanta.
What's good, man? You got to get off the speakerphone on the Bluetooth.
My bad. Hold on. I can turn you down.
Yeah.
Hold on. My bad. I'm driving.
Cool. It's all right. We'll hold. We don't have anything to do. Go ahead, man. We'll wait for you, man.
Okay.
Okay, my apologies. So I want to, couple of things. I wanted to address the Mikal situation.
Yeah.
And as far as how that
this guy's lucky it's the offseason, or else I would have been out of here. You guys know that.
I'm going to try and keep it as brief as I can.
Rapid fire, please. Thank you.
All right. So with Mikal Bridges, I know we got the whole history with the Nets. I get that. Now, at one point, getting OG was an impossibility. We found a way to make it happen. With the Nets, I would imagine that the Nets know they can't keep Mikal Bridges past these next 2 years. They have 0 draft picks and 0 chance of making any noise as far as winning games is concerned. So why not try and recoup some draft picks? If I'm thinking like the Nets, we would have quite a few to offer. So swallow your pride. Let us complete the Infinity Gauntlet with the Nova Core. Give us Bridges. Take these picks and a contract. See you later, Bogey, and we in there. That's Mikal.
Okay.
Now, as far as Julius Randle goes, I don't understand the trade Randle hype. I don't get it. This man is 25, 10, and 5. He's a dog. Do you think the Pacers would have been doing all that tough guy stuff if he was on the floor? I doubt it. and a lot of people like to talk about his playoff shortcomings, which I understand, but let's take a real look at those. Right? Atlanta, who was he passing the ball? Who was he kicking the ball out to? Elfrid Payton? Nah, fam.
Yeah.
He played last year. He played on an ankle that he eventually had surgery on. And then this year, he was out because some bum went underneath him and he dislocated his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Julius Randle at all. 25, 10, and 5. He's too quick for bigs. He's too strong for people smaller than him. Randle shouldn't go anywhere. If you can't get Bridges, cool, run it back. We got within one game of the conference finals missing 4 starters. Run it back.
Okay.
That's it.
Appreciate it, man.
That's all. Love you. Love the show. Keep doing what you're doing.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. All right. It wasn't bad, you know? It wasn't bad. People, when you call in, no Bluetooth, no speakerphone. My man sounded like, he's riding around in the A. He's having a good time. Beautiful weather down there. He's coasting. But the Bluetooth, the earbuds, speakerphone, it's not great audio. So you just got to work with me here, He caught me in off-season mode. We waited for him to collect him, gather his thoughts. Look, I could be completely wrong here, but I think the Mikal Bridges thing is more wishful thinking. It's, yes, the OG trade happened, and a lot of us didn't think it would because of the bad blood in the lawsuit, but that there was a basketball decision to be made there, and both teams felt like they got a good deal for themselves. Knicks and Nets is a little bit different. It's not just division rivals. It's cross-town rivals. This is rivals in life. This is New Jersey and New York. This is Brooklyn and Manhattan. There's only one team in the city. No one cares about the Nets like that. So is Joe Tsai and Sean Marks, are they gonna really look to help the Knicks? And they have nowhere they're going nowhere? That could be career suicide for Sean Marks. They cross-town rivals, they don't trade. What was the most notable Mets-Yankees trade? David Justice for Robin Ventura. Like, these things don't happen. Look at these Knicks and Nets trades. The two teams haven't traded with each other since 1983. Where the Knicks traded a 1984 second-round pick who turned out to be Tom Sluby for Len Elmore. 1982, Knicks traded a 1983 third-round pick. They don't even have third rounds anymore. Bruce Kuzinski was selected. If anybody knows Bruce, tell me on the lunchtime live stream, man. Shout out to him. To the Nets for Ed Sherrod. 1981, here's a blockbuster. The Knicks trade Mike Woodson to the Nets for Mike Newland. All right, so some of my 80s era, the dark ages. Some of you guys will remember. And then the most notable one, 1978, Knicks trade Phil Jackson. And the 1978 first-round pick turned out to be Woodford Boynes to the New Jersey Nets for the first-round pick, 4 first-round picks, who was later named Michael Ray Richardson. And 1979 first-round pick in which Vinnie Johnson was selected. Didn't even know Vinnie Johnson got the microwave. Got drafted by the Knicks. Chuck, this is Knicks history here. Is Chuck still in the chat? What happened here? They must have rerouted him somewhere, obviously. What was the trying to see what happened here. Without the delay. Okay, here it is. Okay, later in October, traded by the Knicks with Lonnie Shelton to the Seattle Supersonics for a first-round pick. Steve Johnson was later selected. The exchange was arranged as compensation for the Knicks signing Marvin Webster in 1978. Wow, didn't even know that. Breaking Knicks news on an afternoon edition of KFTV. We had Vinnie Microwave Johnson in here. And Son from Brooklyn says he's from Brooklyn. Son would know that. He is. BK's own, 67 years old. The microwave. Franklin D. Roosevelt and BK. Yeah, we need a breakdown for the rhyme animal, the OG Chuck D. Got to bring Chuck on soon and go back, do these look backs. Get that historical perspective here. The human eraser. All right, a couple more before we wrap up. Great show, though. 862, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Yo, this is CJ Talk Sports from New Jersey.
Salute, man.
Quickly, just a couple of quick questions before I let you go. Two things, and I know you're probably going to get into this once you guys do your draft coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Knicks officially now have 2 first-round picks, I think we could both safely assume that one of those picks is going to be for that eventual big move in the offseason. My question is, how do you think the Knicks are going to orchestrate these picks, whether it be for a big move, a smaller move, like a move off the bench? How do you think these draft picks are going to impact as far as what the Knicks are going to do in the all season?
Yeah.
Because I still feel as though, as much as I love Deuce, I'm still in the camp that the Knicks need a true bona fide backup point guard.
Yes.
Whereas Deuce, I feel like it's more of a catch and shoot 3-and-D, kind of like an Alex Caruso type.
Mm-hmm.
And regardless on, whether or not they bring back OG, they bring back Randall, which I still think they're going to do, I still think this team needs one more big, athletic, two-way wing because, listen, I love Josh Hart, but I don't want my 6'4" guy to be my primary my backup power forward on most nights. So, again.
Okay. All right, appreciate the call, man. Call back anytime. I get what you're saying. And that'll be, how the Knicks utilize these draft picks and the impact on the salary cap. That's why we're bringing on Bobby Marks tomorrow. We're going to break all that down, understand just how many roster spots they're going to have. Is it a necessity that they're going to trade one of the 2 picks? Are they going to really put 2 roster spots on there? We're going to really break that down and get into the weeds with Bobby Marks. And so, look, in regards to Deuce, yeah, we talked about that on the Deuce McBride season review, in that ideally his best position is going to be the off-ball position, off-ball guard. But Deuce is fantastic. Look, limitations be damned. He finished the year on a strong note. Pacers series wasn't that great. It is what it is. I thought overall he was solid. He was excellent for the Knicks this year, and he's going to carve out a role for him off the bench. And, yeah, they're going to need a solid backup point guard, a solid backup point guard to run that second unit. Playmaker. Is it DeJounte Murray? Is it a DeJounte Murray potential trade? Let's take a look at some more options here. These are like the top 10s. And this is on Hoops Hype. Here's some guys to potentially think about. Pat Bev, no thank you. Jose Alvarado, have to figure, he's got the team option with the Pelicans. Kyle Lowry, no thank you. Reggie Jackson, anybody want Reggie? Anybody? What do you think? I think he's done his days. He's a journeyman. Dinwiddie, anybody want him? I'm pretty good there. Is he a mid-level exception here? What do you guys think about Dinwiddie? I've never been a really big Dinwiddie fan. Russell Westbrook, I'm good. I think Brody probably stays with the Clippers anyway. He's got a player option with the Clippers. I think he stays there. How about Tyus Jones? Is Tyus Jones a mid-level exception candidate? According to Hoops Hype, very safe floor general, excellent assist to turnover ratio. He says, but that lack of risk taking makes him not all that impactful at times. Can do some scoring off the dribble, won't make a ton of flash plays. McConnell won't be available. It sounds like the Pacers are ready to lock him up for the rest of his career. Chris Dunn, no. Aaron Holiday, a little too small for my liking. How about Markelle Fultz? Anybody? Markelle Fultz. What do you guys think? DSJ, nope. I liked Monte Morris when he was in his prime. I'm not sure about, he kind of is like a deuce type player. Shoots a 3-ball very well, though. How about Monte? What do you guys think? What's the Caruso situation? I'm not so sure. I think anybody can be had from Chicago. Jordan Goodwin was on the Knicks. So, yeah, I mean, the point guard class ain't looking too good. A lot of people are asking about Rokas, what his situation is. There was a report out there that, depending on how deep he goes into the Olympics, he might not even play Summer League, but he still has NBA aspirations. So I'm not sure. We really haven't gotten any concrete word from the Knicks in terms of how they feel about him. So I think he would be kind of lower on the priority list. And I'm looking at some shooting guards. Any shooting guards here that could play point? Trent Jr., DeAnthony Melton, Isaiah Joe. There's no way he's leaving OKC. Eric Gordon, no thanks. Josh Richardson, nah. Burks. We'll leave that for another day of jokes. Yeah, Gary Harris. Nah, I mean, not really guys that you want to run your offense. Fournier, hell no. Peyton Jr., Justin Holiday. Not really guys that you want running your offense. So, a couple of prospects. Tyus, Monte. Those could be candidates. Those could definitely be candidates. But could Caruso be, that type of trade? Caruso would be, Tom Thibodeau and Caruso on the same team. Take a look at Caruso contract, see what's going on here. Salute to everybody in the chat. CP the franchise here. We got like 900 people in here on the off-season check-in, man. Salute. We got Bobby Marks coming through tomorrow. Howard Beck on the NBA Report tomorrow. Derek Harper on the NBA Report tomorrow. And then starting Thursday, after every game of the NBA Finals, CP the franchise, Kenyon Martin, a.k.a. Kmart, on the ones and twos, post-game live on the NBA Report, man, after every game. Let's go. Okay. Shout out to Black Yankee 79, $5 super chat says, I think Julius Randle can be that bucket getter via bully ball. Let's keep the same team minus any injuries. NYK can make a run to the finals. Shout out to KFTV. Tyler says, if you could pick one, 70 games of Mitch or 70 games of iHeart, who are you taking? I'm going to take iHeart, man. I just think at this stage of the game, he's too impactful on both ends of the floor, which opens things up for this offense in ways that I like. I like that versatility. I like it when all five guys are good decision makers and can make the team better. I'm a big fan of that. So I at this point, I got to lean with iHeart, man. And that's why, iHeart and Josh Hart, why they were so important, because they could literally do everything. But what was most important for them, not most important, well, one of the important things I felt like, especially when you lose Julius, is that you're losing playmaking. But they were able to make up for it in their own way. It's playing their game, which contributed to winning. They make winning plays. They made winning plays. Passing the ball, smart plays. For the most part, sometimes Hart can get a little erratic with his IQ, but for the most part. 646, what's your day? Where you calling in from? Last call of the day.
Hey, what's up, CP? This is one of the Omars for the Bronx. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. Omar, how you feeling, man?
Pretty good. I got two for you, CP.
Yep.
First thing, CP, we with this team 82 games plus a season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's over, it's like a hard stop, no closure, no exit interviews. My question to you is, how does it benefit the team to not give us exit interviews? I don't get that. And then the second thing I got for you, CP, like how does management go ahead with building a team when you see like NBA coaches in the playoffs, they're shortening it down to 8 players.
Mm-hmm.
So how does management go about building a team with depth, which works in the regular season but is not going to be helpful in the playoffs, or making top-heavy teams? I want to know what you think about those things.
Appreciate it, man. Good questions. Good questions. As far as the exit interviews, this year, again, Leon Rose did not meet with the media. It's just how they roll, man. It's just how they roll. I think for me personally, I understand the direction that this team is trying to go in by the moves that they make. For me, let your actions speak louder. I don't see how an executive is going to come on and give you something that will make you more comfortable with what they're going to do in the offseason. They don't want to tip their hand. They're not going to go into an interview and say, hey, we really like this player as a trade target. We really like this player in free agency, and we're going to go after them. Draft, same way. So if they're not going to go out there and give you names, I don't understand. I don't really get what we're really going to get out of it. We've heard from a lot of the players after every game. We heard from them in Game 7. We heard from a lot of them after each game, post-game. So a lot of these guys have podcasts now. Hartenstein and Brunson have podcasts. So I'm not really sure what else I personally, just me personally. If you disagree, that's fine. But I don't really see what we're really going to get out of it. What's Leon's confidence in Tibbs? I think everybody can see it's obvious he's going to get the bag. I would. Who wouldn't give Tom? Well, I can't say that. So a lot of people still would let Tom Thibodeau send him packing. I think it's pretty obvious that he's going to be back here, and the future is going to be a Brunson Thibodeau ticket. So we see that. We've seen the acquisitions that they're trying to make. We see how they're maneuvering with the draft last couple of years. So I don't think there's a Knicks fan out there that can question the direction that this team is going in. And in that vein, if you did, then I could see, okay, well, the front office needs to come out and say something. Joe Tsai, Sean Marks, what is going on there? Miami, teams like that. Lakers, what's the move now? We got 2 aging, injury-prone veterans, the LeBron James, the Bronny thing. What is going on there? Certain teams where you can really question where are we going with this should present their leaders and players to be held accountable. But for me personally, from the Knicks standpoint, I think we're fine. But that's just me. And then in terms of, how do you optimize your roster to make sure that guys perform in the playoffs? I don't think there's any way to know. There's no way to know. Josh Hart talked about that on the Roommates podcast, where it's a lot of times in these things, you got to get lucky, man. You got to get lucky. You can have all the intention in the world in terms of how you put your team together, and it can all fall apart at the seams in crunch time on a big spot. Or you can go into a season like with the Miami Heat last year thinking, hey, we got a team that can go to the NBA Finals. No, but things broke right. They came together hot. They got hot late in the year. You have the Spoelstra factor. First round, they went through Milwaukee. Giannis is hurt. They caught a break. They capitalized. They gained momentum. They gained chemistry. They beat us. They had the Celtics on the ropes, 3-0. Who saw that coming? So there's no exact science, man. I think one thing that you want to do is you at least want to make sure that you put yourself in the position to have 2 star players, 2 superstar level players on your team. It starts there. Then, how are we fitting the pieces around here? What is this guy weak at? How do we complement that? What is this guy weak at? How do we complement? how do we offset that rather? And put a good piece to the puzzle. Let's got to start with the 2 stars. And then from there, especially with the way the second apron is working and things of that nature, you have to hope that you can hit on your vet minimum guys, your draft picks, guys that can really fill in from a rotation standpoint and provide you that depth. Like if you take a look at the Nuggets in anticipating the aprons and trying to build with the future in mind, they went lean with the rotation. They said, we're going to rely on Christian Brown. We're going to rely on Peyton Watson, our younger guys. Didn't work out for them. They let Bruce Brown walk. They let Jeff Green walk. Didn't work out. So I don't think there's any way that you can plan to have the perfect team for the playoffs. It's just part of it is just luck, man. Part of it is just luck. Oh, we got to wrap up, my guy. I was going to wrap up, but we in overtime right now. Rambo from Tampa. Rambo, let's go.
Yo, first off, everybody in the chat right now, drop a hashtag grinding. I'm over here working right now. I'm trying to be quiet so I can pop this store real quick. I wasn't ready, CP. Okay. I'm running.
Let's go.
I'm getting out of here. You too. Have a good one. Yeah, so anyway, man, let's get right on it, man. It's the all-season, guys, man. Put it together. Let me tell you guys, first and foremost, man, witnessing this front office in these past few years, I don't expect nothing big out of them, man. I expect these guys to go ahead and pay OG, pay Hartenstein. But the biggest thing for me, CP, is the decision at center, man. What are we going to do? We need to make a decision. I don't care how buddy they are, man. We're going to have to split those guys up. We got 2 first-round draft picks this year. You got to, do you put one with Mitch and send him off and draft yourself a backup center? Because that's where I'm at. I'd rather draft a backup center right now.
Yeah.
That's where my head's at. Julius Randle, he's got to stay. He's got to stay because this front office likes to do a first half of the season evaluation. They'll make their big trades come January, February. We've seen that in the past 2 years. Past 3 years.
Yeah.
I forgot about Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
So, I like where we're at right now. I know everybody feels like we need a star, we need this, we need that. But the truth is there is no blueprint on a championship team. Because if there was, people have been trying to follow it, and it doesn't always pan out. It's the best team wins. And it's simple as that, man. And I like our odds. I like where we're at right now. I feel like we got a solid team. We just need to stay down right now, man. But I like where we at right now, man. But we do need a draft for center. And I think that's where we're at right now. We need a draft for center. And we need to make a decision, Hartenstein or Mitch. That's the biggest thing for the front office for me this year, man. I feel like that's going to be the biggest challenge that they've had in the past 4 years. And that's where it's at. Everything else is going to work itself out. We're going to see what needs to be changed, what needs to go. But we need to lock down OG. We need to lock down Hartenstein, in my eyes.
Let's go. Appreciate the call, man.
No, I appreciate you guys, man. Bro, hashtag grinding. Drop it right now. Let's go, man.
Let's go. Rambo from Tampa on the grind. My man ran from, he went from, I don't know where he was at. He said, yo, listen, I got to drop everything I'm doing and come through and close this show. So shout out to Rambo. Shout out to everybody who tapped in with us on the lunchtime live stream. We had almost 1,000 people in here, man. So that's just a KFTV love, man. If you guys are on the grind, salute to you guys, man. We'll let you get back to it. We appreciate you guys for tapping in with us. We'll be back tomorrow. 2 shows tomorrow. 10 a.m. on the NBA Report with Howard Beck. We're going to preview the finals, talk Knicks as well. Then 12 o'clock, we'll have Bobby Marks on here, Knicks offseason guide. If you guys have more questions for Marks, as far as the cap is concerned, draft, free agency, that is your chance to call in, man. No other show is giving you that opportunity to speak to the professionals one-on-one directly, man. So make sure you guys capitalize on that. Wednesday on the NBA Report, once again, Derek Harper, the last number 11, joins us to preview the finals as well. And then Thursday, and from Thursday on, the entire finals, myself and Kmart, Kenyon Martin, will be breaking things down for the NBA Finals. Post-game live after every game, highlights, analysis, player analysis, and live caller reactions, man. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And follow us. Make sure you're subscribing on the NBA Report. Very important. Follow us there. Subscribe to the channel and share the videos, man. Remember that the show is available in audio podcast format. No reason to miss it. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Great show. Productive conversation, man. Have a great show. Have a great day.